Up next on Did You Know? The Montgomery County 50 Plus Volunteer Network celebrates its first birthday. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Montgomery County Volunteer Center here in Germantown, Maryland. The Montgomery County Volunteer Center is part of Montgomery County government. We are part of the Office of Community Partnerships. And the mission of the Montgomery County Volunteer Center is to promote a culture of community service within Montgomery County. And specifically, we do that by connecting all residents with volunteer opportunities at nonprofits and government agencies. And the Volunteer Center has a number of programs. The 50 Plus Volunteer Network is the newest of the programs.
The 50 Plus Volunteer Network was launched last year in response to what we have seen over the years, which is a major shift in demographics, often referred to as the senior tsunami. As the baby boomers are retiring and moving into that next chapter of their lives, we've seen a lot of research that shows that this is a generation that wants an active and fulfilling retirement. And one thing that these people are looking for is ways to volunteer. Very often they want to draw on their lifetime of professional skills to pursue their personal interests in a way that may go beyond the one-day community service project, which might be the only thing that they know about. So we have this huge population right here in Montgomery County of people who have time on their hands, lots of skills, and a passion for service. At the same time, our nonprofit organizations are recognizing that this talent pool is a resource that can really help them deliver their services. The County Council approved funding for the 50 Plus Volunteer Network, which was launched in January of 2018.
Whenever you have someone that wants to volunteer and you have people that need volunteers, sometimes they don't know about each other. And in this case, they would. In this case, it really is a matchmaker. And it also saves the county a tremendous amount of money by having them do that work. So it's a perfect fit.
We have about 100 partner organizations, nonprofit and government agencies. They reflect a broad variety of causes, areas from animals, seniors, basic poverty organizations, arts and cultural.
Has anybody been stung by
working with children, immigration.
I believe our community is stronger if we spend some time looking after each other. And so I was looking for ways to get more engaged and trying to support worthy missions working locally. So I came across the 50 Plus Volunteer Network looking at the web. So I met Deborah and Gretchen, fantastic ladies, very professional. They did a great job of coming back to me literally within 3 days, I think, with 15 to 20 opportunities, all within the scope of what we discussed, and ASAP was one of those opportunities.
Well, first, there are 730,000 asylum seekers that live here in the United States, and 25,000 live in our own backyard. Crossing a border does not solve problems. Most often it just means trading one set of problems for a new set of problems. And so the clients that we serve, they often come with many needs but few resources. It's not illegal to seek asylum, but asylum seekers are ineligible for government support, and they simultaneously cannot work for a minimum of 6 months, but most often closer to years. As a result of the current policy, many asylum seekers struggle to just meet their basic needs. The Asylum Seeker Assistance Project was founded in 2016 to help clients address those unmet needs. Today, we offer a continuum of services focused on client safety and well-being, helping asylum seekers rebuild their social and professional networks, and helping connect the clients we serve to safe, legal, and meaningful work.
Being an immigrant myself, I was looking for, I could relate to the topic at hand. And what better way to help the community than welcoming in our community people who have suffered from torture. So ASAP does an outstanding job of extending the best American welcome to people fleeing torture and persecution wherever they come from. The need was around finance, which is my area of expertise and where I've been a professional most of my life. We spent a few months working together. Since then, I was offered to join the board as a director, and I've now become the treasurer. And I see that personally as a privilege to be able to help Joan and the rest of her team to accomplish their incredible mission.
So the Montgomery County 50 Plus Volunteer Network has been really useful in terms of connecting the clients we serve with local residents. These relationships help our clients make friends, find professional mentorship, and we also benefit from those volunteers who are willing and able to lend us their professional expertise.
You might be wondering how the 50 Plus Volunteer Network actually works. We ask each and every volunteer to complete a very brief form and submit it to us along with their resume and or a brief history of their experience, and that's just to give us some background information. Once we receive that information and we confirm that they are 50 plus, which is a requirement of the program, we then get in contact with them and we schedule a meeting here in our Germantown offices. That meeting, again, would be either with Debbie or me, or it could be with one of our program advisors. We also use skilled volunteers to help us expand our capacity here in the 50 Plus network. Once we are in the interview, we also, in addition to asking very broad, probing questions, we offer specific suggestions.
High school is fine, yes. Although I don't think I want to do tutoring so much. It's at least that's a little bit. That's more time I think that I want to devote.
Ultimately, what we do is we prepare a very detailed email outlining each opportunity and including information about the organization. And then the volunteer has time to review that email and let us know what he or she might be interested in pursuing. Once we find that out, we introduce the volunteer to our contact at the organization, and then we allow the two of them to decide if it's a good match and they want to move forward. We also follow the volunteer through each stage and phase of the volunteer experience, making sure that the contact follows up, making sure that the volunteer is indeed happy in his or her volunteer work.
I met Debbie and Gretchen at Panera's, and they told me about the possible types of volunteer opportunities that were available. And when they just started describing the different things, I was so intrigued by what they said about Court Watch, I thought that's what I want to do.
Court Watch Montgomery is working hard to make sure domestic violence victims in Montgomery County really have access to justice at our courts. The good news is that Maryland has great laws on domestic violence, but the bad news is unless citizens are in the courthouse, in the courtrooms, watching, victims don't always get what they need. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done here to make sure that victims are getting the services they need and the legal protections they deserve. So our heart and soul are volunteers who go to court at least 2 mornings a month and listen to all the domestic violence cases on the docket. They could be protective orders, or some volunteers go to the criminal hearings, and they take a lot of notes and about things that we know that are important to victims. So are they treated with courtesy and respect? Did they get the financial support temporarily that they need? Was the courthouse safe? So some simple things, and we collect all that data and then can put out reports to the court and to the county council and to residents. And we've really gotten a lot of changes at court, a lot of systemic changes that are helping the 3,000 victims that come every year looking for help.
You go with another volunteer and you sit and you watch what happens in the courtroom. And the training program is not offered until after you've done that for a few times. And then you know what you don't know, so then you're ready to be trained. The other volunteers that I've met are really amazing most are women, and they're very committed to what this is all about, very conscientious in what they do. And so I've loved meeting them. I've loved the experience of being in the courtroom and seeing and hearing the type of cases that we're exposed to.
We've placed all types of volunteers, from 50 plus to 80 plus, from all parts of the county, from really diverse backgrounds. Many of our volunteers have retired from business, from law, from education, public policy, administrative positions, really just to name a few fields. We also have a number of volunteers who are empty nesters, who really came in looking to refocus their energies from their children and their homes to volunteer activities.
I went through the Leadership Montgomery program, and one of our sessions included a talk about the 50 plus volunteer network. And when I finished my program, I went to interview with them. They asked me for my resume, they interviewed me very thoroughly, and sent me home and said they'd work on some possibilities. So about a week later, I found out that they had researched 5 or 6 possibilities, and that I could look at those and make some choices and get back to them. I went on the internet, I made some calls, I interviewed with several of them, and one was Empowered Women International.
So Empowered Women International is a program under the Latino Economic Development Center. What we do is we help women to start their own business or grow their own business. But what's special about us is that we do it through a holistic way. We empower the woman through the tool of entrepreneurship. And that is because we focus a lot on immigrants, refugee, low-income women, women that have been through something in their life, or they're at that point in life of transition. You know, the kids are out of the house, or they finished their career in something, but their passion or their dream was always to cook or make dresses, or who knows, you know. So what we do is we take those women that have a passion and a viable business idea, and we put them through our programs. So our programs count immensely on mentors.
I'm a mentor. I entered in October, and we had a class of about 8 students, and I think it was 5 or 6 mentors. So I saw these young women coming in with some of them very, very anxious and unsure of themselves, not able to speak in front of a group of just 12 or 15 of us, and with very shaky ideas about their businesses, some of them. I went through the program with them, and by the end, I realized they got up in front of 100 people and gave this perfectly prepared and articulated business pitch. They were confident, they had great body language, they turned around 180 degrees. It was really fantastic to see this.
Before, I had to go to a lot of networking events, meeting people, and then they would be interested to get involved. But it was a high recruitment, you know, not just recruiting clients for my programs. Wait, I have to do strategies to how to recruit mentors. So when I first got in touch with Deborah, I was a while ago on a different program, and then she reached back out about this new program, 50 Plus Network, and what they do. We talked again, she told me, and then I stayed put. I waited. And then the emails started coming. I probably get 1 referral a week.
Really excited that we have just celebrated our first anniversary, and that means that we are currently in growth mode. We are really looking to increase both the number of volunteers and the agencies that we serve.
And as the baby boomers continue to exit the workforce, and they'll be coming in to meet with us, we hope to really grow this program, but without sacrificing that personal touch that we're going to be able to give to each person.